For years, the world has listened to thousands of podcasts. But if you dare to immerse yourself into a new experience, new ideas, viewpoints, award-worthy commentary, and a way of looking at things you didn't think were possible, strap in, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Gaming, current events, local and global, finance, sports, religion, health, and everything else. It's all here. It's all here in the DATAPODCAST.
So we're back at it again with the podcast. It's been a long time due to scheduling complications and stuff. We haven't seen each other for a long time. I think the last time we got together was literally last month. It was literally 30 days ago. But we're here again. A lot of stuff has happened in the news. We're here back with Special Guest Joan. He's back with us again. And we've been talking a lot, catching up on each other, right? Because we haven't seen each other again for quite a long time. So we're gonna try to run this a little bit quicker. I have a couple of topics that we want to talk about. Nothing más news related, but something more, I guess, in the realms of biblical stuff. And if we can, we'll talk about Jeffrey Epstein, because I saw the documentary on Netflix the other day, and so I do want to talk about that if we can. So the first thing I want to talk about is because the topic I have here, right, and we can see it, except you guys, you can't see it, but we have a list of topics on the screen, and the first one is about possessions and demons, and I'll start off with the story that happened to me last night. Okay, and and this is literally last night, but today's 12/15/21, and last night I had like a nightmare kind of thing. It was very scary. I was telling these guys about it, so I'll just mention it. I left some details out, I think. But it was a dream, and we record the podcast at my house, so we're here in my house, and I live alone, right? It's just me here. And so my attitude towards stuff like this, demons and ghosts and stuff like that, is much like, my attitude is always like, for it to come and get me, I don't care, kill me, right? So I don't have to work anymore, so I don't have to worry about paying bills, ni nada, and so it's just an eternal sleep for me, right? That's the way I cope with this kind of stuff. But last night was different, okay? And so I was laying in bed, and I have like my bed is like kind of facing, the headboard is like on the wall like this, but if I was to look up, I can see the door, which is right over there. I can see the door, I see, and the TV right there, and the TV was on in the dream, right? But for me, it felt like it was real life, because I was still in bed, so it was kind of confusing. So I'm there, and I see that the TV's on, and there's somebody sitting down ahí on the sofa, and I can just see like the head, ahí nomás, somebody sitting there, and that's where I said, right, I was just like, whatever, come and get me, right? I don't care, like, let's just get this over with, and so it can be over, right? And I started throwing the finger, right? That's what I started doing, because that's what I do, right? That's how I cope with things así. It's just like, según yo, I'm not afraid of anything. But then the TV turned off, and then I started panicking in the dream, right? But I didn't know it was a dream because it felt like it was real life, right? So the TV turns off, and then the room starts getting really cold. And I start getting really cold, and I start shaking, and I start getting nervous. And I literally felt like those two hands así, like on my face, and they were like como kind of pulling me así, And there was like while that was going on, somebody was like grabbing my like a smile, as in just forcing it all the way up. And I'm talking like a creepy cartoon wide smile, man.
Like the Joker.
Yeah, and I could feel it. I see like my face being frozen and something taking over me, and I started panicking. And after a while, I felt like somebody was just así like holding my face from behind, and I could hear somebody whispering something here, but I couldn't understand the language. I didn't understand it. And I wake up. That's when I wake up, and I'm in bed, and I'm in the same position as the dream, right? Now I'm así like kind of like wanting to get up, and I couldn't move. I was awake. My eyes were awake. And I was like in between, halfway able to make sense of my thinking process, you know, when you're like that tired. And I was just like, I started panicking because I couldn't control my hands or my feet, or I couldn't get out of bed. And so that made it worse. And so I started shaking even more. And I was just like, I'm getting possessed. That's what came to mind, right? I was just like, I'm getting possessed here. And I started getting really scared. And I wanted to recite prayers, but nothing was coming to mind. The same panic that I was. And then eventually I started remembering a prayer. That's like it's Joel Osteen says it at the end when he closes his sermons. And I was reciting it wrong. He says, how does he say it? He says, Jesus, come into my heart. I make you my Lord and Savior. And what I was saying was, Jesus, I'll come into your heart. I am your Lord and Savior. I was saying it like in reverse. And that started scaring me because that's not what I was trying to say. And I got really scared. And then after a while, I was starting to, and this was just thinking. After a while, I was able to get the words right in the thinking process, because it might have been because I was still asleep. And then, once I was able to recite it correctly in my mind, I spoke the words out loud. And I got my phone out, and I was there with the Bible verses, and I was just like, I bet if I can go back to sleep. And even the Bible verses, like, it was like something in my ear was flipping the words, man. And so it was a very, very scary encounter. I had never been scared like this before. I honestly, the only thing I can think of that brought this along was because the other day by myself here at night, I saw The Conjuring 2. I had never seen it. I saw it by myself because the students in my class told me to see it. And I saw it, and I don't know if that's what brought this along or what, man.
When did you watch it?
I think I saw it Sunday night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So not that long ago.
Not that long ago. And this happened last night. Maybe 12 hours ago, right? Más menos. Right? And so, I don't know, man. I don't like to believe in this stuff, right? Because I've never seen it personally. I've seen Hollywood's portrayal of exorcisms and that stuff. Pero me, because I've never seen this in person, and because I don't think this could happen to me. My mentality is that once you get baptized, once you're baptized, no, nothing can touch you. But that's my coping, right? So I don't know what this was, man. I don't know what this was, but this was bizarre.
But you do believe people can get possessed?
Well, based on what Hollywood, right,
portrays.
And
but you've never seen it before?
I've never seen it in person, no.
And at what time did you wake up?
At 3.
At 3?
At exactly 3 in the morning.
The witching hour? Is it the witching hour?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but a lot of things happen at 3.
I believe it's the witching hour.
They say that's when Jesus died también in the cross. That's why it's called the witching hour.
I say that's...
So when he was on the cross, that was when, he was,
I know that I woke up many times at 3.
Yeah, they say that's when, like, evil spirits are like the most
the
strong,
the
most strong, the most powerful.
Según
dicen. From what I've seen on movies and whatever.
And I had done the research, and I was like, why is it called that? And somewhere I had read it because según that's when Jesus died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So once suppose he had no domain in person over the earth, porque pues he was gone. That's when they came out, and they were just like, we can rule.
That's when they were the strongest.
Yeah. After. Yeah.
Personally, I don't think that you were being possessed. There might have been something with your sleep. What did you call it?
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. Yeah.
Yeah, because I read some like stories or whatever. Sometimes some YouTubers and stuff. Que, like, they're having a dream or whatever, and they wake up, but they can't move, and like they try to move, they try to like breathe, talk or whatever, and nothing comes out.
Yeah.
They're just still, and they see things like some shadowy figures, some like demonic figures, whatever.
Yeah.
And they get real scared because they panic of what they're seeing and stuff. And sometimes I think some stories is that they feel like they're being stabbed by that figure or whatever. and I think it's called sleep paralysis. I could be wrong, but I think that's what.
The only thing that's similar to that that's happened to me, but this was a long time ago, and it happened often. I want to say it happened a few times. I was younger. I want to say like a teenager, and I would fall asleep, and then I would have maybe a bad dream. I don't remember or something, but then I would be like in between being asleep and being awake, like not fully awake, but not fully asleep either. So, and when I was in that state, I felt like a vibration in my whole body, and then I tried to like move my arms or like get up, and I couldn't get up, and this went on for a while, like for minutes, until finally something happened, and I was able to, I was released. Like I don't know if that was probably maybe something like what you're saying. It's just something that happens to you when you're trying to wake up from sleep or something. But as far as me believing like in people getting possessed and stuff, I guess I do believe it could happen. I've never seen something like so drastic, a person getting possessed drastically. I've heard a lot of stories because my ¿cómo se llama? Mis suegros, my in-laws, they're pastors, and they have told me stories about stuff that they have seen, and then they wouldn't be lying, right? So they say that so all of a sudden when they have to pray for a person who's possessed or whatever, they'll start like opening their mouth really, really wide, like unnaturally, like it's abnormal, right, for them to open it so wide, and it makes weird noises and sounds, and then they say that some of them even like are moving around like a snake on the ground and stuff like that. I've never seen that personally, but I have seen, and I was telling you guys this, and it was weird. This was also when I used to go to another church before I met my in-laws, and we were driving up to the church, to the parking lot, and we were late. Everybody was already inside. The parking lot was full, and there was just this other car that got there before us, and there was two ladies, right, like older ladies, and we were walking behind them. We saw them get off of the vehicle, and in the beginning it looked like they were happy, right? They were getting there. They started walking together and having like their normal conversation about I don't know what, and walking into the church. And then all of a sudden, as she was getting closer and closer to church, like to go into church, one of the ladies started acting really weird, like started making really loud noises and saying like, no, I don't want to go. And saying like, started cursing and stuff really, really loud. I can't impersonate the way she was acting, but it was really weird. And I could tell, just nobody had to tell me. I could tell like this person is probably possessed or something. So I didn't even want to look. I was scared. I just kept walking and went inside church, and that was the end of that. I don't remember. I don't know what happened. But that was my experience of something that I saw of someone that was, it wasn't normal, because she was walking by her own will in the beginning, and she was happy walking there, and then all of a sudden she just changed completely, and she was cursing and she was yelling, and the other person was just kind of like holding her and praying for her and stuff. It was really weird. And the second thing that happened is I was in a youth in the same church, and like in a youth classroom, and the main youth preacher was preaching, and then all of a sudden she asked us all to close our eyes and start praying, and we all did, but one person just for some reason just didn't close her eyes and just staring at the preacher directly, like with a frown. And I didn't notice that at first, but as I had my eyes closed, right, but then I just looked up to see what was going on, and I saw her acting pretty weird, like just staring straight at the preacher, and the preacher was praying with her eyes open, and she was looking around, and she was noticing that she was staring at her. She knew what was going on. So then all of a sudden she started yelling also, like this lady. And she was like saying no, and I don't know what, just also cursing at her, and just kind of going crazy. And from there, the preacher that was praying, knew what was going on. She just started praying directly towards her, and like rebuking whatever it was, like in the name of Jesus and all this. At that point, I knew what was going on, and I was scared. I didn't want any part of it, so I just walked out. So I didn't get to see what happened at the end or anything. But that's been the only experience that I've had with, if they even were. I don't know if they were. I haven't asked, or in my mind, they were possessed. But that's as close as I've seen. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I've never seen anything personal, like I said, in real life, and I hope I never have to. But my understanding is that the only people qualified, like, is priests, Catholic priests, because they have the training, and only certain. I think there's a hierarchy that this thing goes to. They go to the bishop or the archbishop, and then from there se va al cardinal, because they have like regions, like they have to speak to that cardinal or something, and then they have to get the approval to do the exorcism, right?
Okay.
And that's to exorcise the demon out. And there's a process to this, right? And so my understanding is that only they can do that stuff.
Okay.
Because they have the training, right? They spend years in that kind of training. I honestly don't know.
This is the Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church, yeah. I know.
I don't know how
Jesus cast demons out himself.
Yeah.
In the Bible, right? And he would cast them into swine.
Mm-hmm.
He would put the demons into pigs, and then they would.
There was
just
one
go,
case when he did
they
that.
go running into the sea, After that, ahí se morían those pigs.
And there was a situation in the Bible also where his disciples were trying to cast out demons and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And they came back to Jesus and were like, why? Why aren't they doing this? And then he mentioned to them like something like, this only comes out through fasting and prayer or something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The verse that I'm talking about?
Sí,
and then, but then he, afterwards, he commanded them and told them like, in my name you will cast out demons and all this and all that.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I don't know. Yeah, I remember that. I don't know if I'd ever want to though.
You cast out a demon?
I don't think I wanna. I don't know, bro. I mean, I think I'd be too scared, man. Even knowing what I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hollywood, right? Because you've seen it like what movie is it? Like, The Exorcist, right?
Yeah.
There's like movies where like the priest tries to exorcise the thing out, and then the priest gets hurt and gets killed, or ends up getting possessed himself, and then it's like it falls to him, right? I saw one movie. Which one was it? I think it was The Exorcist 3, where the demon goes to the priest. He has no choice. He like starts forcing himself to the window, and he just falls off the story building. He se mata solo, right?
But these are movies.
These are movies, yeah. But I mean, they have to have some kind of research, no?
Right.
They couldn't just draw this shit. You know, like, I don't think so, man.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, like, what causes these things to react, like, to manifest?
There's people that believe it's fake. Like, I told you all that the other day. I saw The Conjuring 2, right? Mm-hmm. And apparently it's based on a real story, right?
Okay.
Like, this happened in England or something.
Okay.
And like have y'all seen the movie?
I've seen one of The Conjuring. I don't know which.
This is the one where they go to England and they help out like this British mom, and it's like the daughter. She's getting possessed.
Is this the one where there's a tree in the backyard?
I think it ends like the tree's like se corta, and that's how the husband. That's the one where the nun comes out the first time. That's the one. What's the Valak or something? That's the name of the demon.
I
or
can't
something.
say.
No,
I've seen that one.
It's so apparently it's based on like that because it's like the Warrens or what are they called?
The Warrens, the
Warren family.
The one they go around
Lorraine and I don't know who else, the guy.
Yeah, the people who have like the little shop with Annabelle doll and stuff
and
like
they
that.
go and they're like como demonologists or something. So they're able to go and so they intervene in behalf of the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church needs evidence and they're the ones that are going to take evidence back. But then they find out that it's too late. It's got to be dealt with now at the end, right? Somewhere in the movie. And part of that movie is like... it's bizarre, man. I mean, it's based on real life, and like they have like psychologists get involved, and the police get involved, and like one of the psychologists or like a social worker, she tells the mom like you're doing this on purpose so that they can relocate you, get you a new house, right? So that they have like programs there, so that you can get housing, a better house, and all of this. Like all of this is fake.
She's lying about it.
So that's like the way she interprets the events, right? And so I know like the first Exorcist movie is based on it was actually a little boy in Connecticut, I think. I'm not too sure. And it was him and the mom only. And the same, so that they drew the movie out of that, out of that según real life stuff. I mean, I have a lot of questions, man. Why is it only little kids? Why, is it why is it little kids always, like end up getting possessed? I've never heard of any adult. You would think it like, again, going back, right? If I wanted to win this entire thing and I could possess people, right? If I had power to, wouldn't I just go straight to the top and Joe Biden or something and possess like somebody who has the nuke codes and just kill everybody off? Right? Wouldn't you do that? Or anybody like another leader like Putin or Kim Jong-un or whatever? Why little kids in the movies? Why?
I think that's little kids based on, from what I remember what I read, or to my understanding, is that kids, because they haven't matured yet, they still have like a part of the brain that is sensitive, and that allows them to see things
I've
that
heard about
aren't
this.
there.
I've heard about this.
Because I think as our brain matures, we lose that insight.
Yeah.
And since little kids still have that part of their brain because they're still developing, they have it. And I think that's why they're more prone to possessions in movies or in real life or what have you.
Yeah.
Is due to the fact that their brains are still developing and they still haven't lost that insight that we have, as adults, have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the reasoning why.
And you remember, like, when we're little kids, like, you're like, there's a monster under my bed. And so
Or, like-
y'all remember that? Or, like, you don't want to go to the last room because there's something there because you had that sense. And, like, your parents would tell you, like, nah, you just saw it in a movie or there's nothing there. Or it's in your mind. Like, you got to face your fears. Because I've heard about this. That,
Or, like,
that,
No, but kids have a very overactive imagination compared to adults also.
That they can access that other dimension that you're talking about. I've heard about that.
And also like the imaginary friends and stuff like that.
Exactly, yes.
It might be the like overactive imagination, stuff like that. But I think it also has something to do with that. At least from what I remember and stuff like that.
What I think is that adults are just as prone as kids. But it's different because, when adults does something weird or crazy, is going to end up in jail. And then they just say, like, well, I don't remember this. Oh, you have a mental issue,
Well, there was a mom
They're connected
in New
back
York,
to-
I mean, in the 80s, and she killed her. She had 3 kids or something.
Yeah.
And then she went to court and they asked her, why did you do this? And she said, the devil told me to do it.
And then they just judge her like, oh, she's crazy.
Yeah. What is that? What is that, bro? What is that?
And then when you say that for them to be leaders that are possessed, was Hitler, what if he was,
Well, that's a good
But
question.
then he got...
That's a good point. Pharaoh himself, that man. That's a good point.
But I mean, for me, it's weird actually that kids could be possessed. I actually haven't...
Have you seen The Omen?
No.
No, so then
I don't watch these kinds of movies.
Yeah, so let me tell you about The Omen. So The Omen is like, it's a little boy, and there's 2. There's like the old one, and there's the one that came out in June 6, 2006, where they did the whole 666 thing that day.
Oh, okay.
That one played down. I went to go see it in theaters. And at the end of the movie, it's like the little boy, right? And he's like I don't know if he's like the Antichrist or the son of or something. He's something. And at the end, he's like, it's like the president that ends up, he has like the president's ear, the little kid. At
The
end,
kid has the ear?
They kill like his dad. Pues at the end, the president's like, como like, no, like, let's save him. Like this was this is an innocent person. So they end up, that was the one that was trying to say like, no, like it's him, like you gotta kill him. And so he's trying to, they see like he's about to kill his own son. And the other people see that and they take him out and pues they like, this is crazy, like your own dad shouldn't be trying, you know what I mean? So then at the end, it's like you see them walking away, with that little boy, and you just see like que es el diablo, like it's with the...
They had all under control.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man, like, with this kind of stuff, shouldn't they be scared, man?
Who?
Like these demon things, like, let me go back, let me backtrack. There was a time, I never did it, okay? But there was a time that one of my family members was obsessed with the Ouija board.
Oh, okay. I know you were going there.
So I never wanted to get involved. I never touched I think they call it the planchette or what is it, that little thing, right? I never got involved. So what I was doing was I was standing, watching, right? I was like just looking, observing at the people who were así, right? And there's somebody taking down notes, transcribing what's going on and what was being asked and the time and all. And then I started making fun of thing. And I was just like, why are you only asking the questions in English? Like, are all demons like experts in the English language or what? And that's what I started doing, right? I must have been maybe 17 years old. And I was just like, why don't you ask it a question in Spanish? Or does this thing not understand Spanish? It's that stupid. Or what if you ask it in Latin? Or what if you ask it in German, right? Is this thing not capable of answering the question? I was like, why don't you ask it in Spanish? And if it gives us because I knew that my family, that she was with her friends, I knew that they're not that good at Spanish. I was like, if that shit can word back, right? Can word back perfect Spanish sentences.
Oh, okay.
Then I'll believe this crap. Right? So that was me testing.
Because you knew that it wasn't gonna be them making it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And no podían. And then I was just like, and why do you need to see the board? That was the other thing. I was just like, why don't you put a blindfold on? Surely, if you have a blindfold, right, the thing should be able to do the thing itself and go to the letter A and all of this. they did it and they couldn't. They were just gibberish.
Mm-hmm.
It was just gibberish. I was just like, what? It needs to borrow your eyes. It's capable of possession. Right? So me making fun of it that night, bro. I don't know, bad things happened, bro. That night, bro. Not to me, but there was a lot of stuff happening. It was in an apartment in Edinburgh, and I just remember that we had to leave. We had to get out of there.
No.
And so I don't know. I don't believe in stuff like I don't believe it.
Okay.
Pero maybe there's some things that just happen, bro. Maybe a glass just falls off because there's wind and it's wet and it just falls off right on its own and it wasn't a ghost that pushed it, right? Or maybe the door would just fling open because it wasn't closed properly.
It was a series of coincidences.
Or maybe the light switch turns on because it was halfway.
No, that's not possible.
Well, there's sometimes that you leave it about halfway.
Yeah.
You know, with the slightest of error or there's an explanation for everything, man.
Yeah.
Come on, right? So I'm just like, I don't know. But the mind is weak.
Yeah.
And the mind will go to this stuff. And it'll be like, the only natural thing that makes sense is it has to be a demon, right? Why? Why can't we rationalize things like, como me, what happened yesterday? Maybe I was just sick, bro. Maybe it's because I had Whataburger, right? This is one thing I do know.
That was probably it.
No, this is one thing I do know. Like, if you eat a big meal, anything past, I think, 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. is one of those. If you have a big meal, you're going to have a nightmare. I will. And that's for everybody. But that's not just me. That's for everybody. Because I think it has to do something with gluttony. So you have, I thought before y'all got here, I went and threw it out. It was a number 5 with a Coke, with a Dr. Pepper, water size, right? 2 ketchup to go. I ate it about 11:30, and then I went to sleep así.
No.
And that must have been why, that must have been why.
Part of the reason why.
You know, and it was even then, like, why does that happen? I don't know, but it just is. It happens for me, like when I eat así afterwards. Pero wouldn't these things like be scared of having to face like Jesus and stuff, man? That's my question.
The demons.
Yeah.
By possessing someone.
What do they gain by doing this stuff? Like, I've heard people say, like, they'll attach to, like, somebody who's going through something bad or somebody who's weak, and they'll just latch on and start feeling like, why?
Why do they have the need to possess someone? I don't know, bro. I mean, that's something that's not as out of my...
Like, I've heard people say, like, well, demons aren't really a thing. It's like alcoholism is a demon. And what else? Doing drugs is a demon. Heroin, has too much sex is gambling is a demon, right? I can understand that. Pero an actual thing possessing you, what is that? You've seen, I don't know if you've ever seen that, como people trying to like draw out what it is these things are. And they try their best, and it looks disturbing, right? Well, especially when Hollywood tries to portray this stuff. Has anybody ever seen this in real life? I don't know.
The reason, the reason I believe in it, right, is because I've read it in the Bible, right? And I believe the Bible. Yeah. And I've heard it from people that I know, that I'm close to, that I know that they have no reason for lying. I've heard it from them. They've seen it. Not the only 2 instances that I've seen is the ones that I've talked about. Yeah. But because of that, what the Bible says and stuff, I believe it, right? But also, God is spirit, right? And we have a spirit. And we know, if you're a Christian, you believe that the Spirit of God comes and dwells within you. Comes and dwells in your in your heart, in your body, or whatever, inside of you. Yeah. So, if it's possible for the Spirit of God to dwell in a person's heart or a person's body, then I would say it is also possible for some kind of evil spirit or demon to dwell in a body as well. And it doesn't have to be a human body, because in the Bible it mentions that it was sent into swine, and then they threw themselves off a cliff or something.
Yeah, would kill themselves. Yeah.
So this is the reason that yes, it's possible for me. It's pretty hard to believe. We don't see it every day, and we never seen it. But this is why I believe that it is possible. I don't have any explanation for it, like how it is. I just believe because of these reasons.
It'd be a sickness, bro. I mean, Jesus. I mean,
like a mental issue.
I don't want to believe it, man. I don't want to.
Let me ask you this. So we're talking about demons, but what about, because people from here can get confused and say, and this is where it comes of ghosts. Like, what do you think about ghosts? Like dead people's spirits being around.
I've seen the, I don't know if y'all have seen Ghost Hunters, or what is it, Ghost Adventures? With that guy, Zach Bagans, or whatever his name is, and they go into...
Well, this is why I remembered about this, because this movie about Ghostbusters, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
So they're hunting down ghosts,
Mhm.
but really there's no reason to hunt down people's ghosts, right? Must be demons confused as
Ghost.
people's ghosts. This is in my mind, right? Because I don't believe, because let me just say that I don't believe that people's dead spirits or ghosts are roaming around. I don't believe that it's possible because of what I believe about the Bible,
I'm
right?
gonna light up, bro.
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
getting nervous now. I'm getting nervous.
Because I don't believe people's spirit are just roaming around, but I do believe that demon spirits are roaming around, right?
And do you think that demon spirits are sometimes to confuse
With
people?
people's ghosts.
They disguise themselves as people ghosts to like gain people to attract themselves to that, to get more power.
Maybe,
feed off them?
yeah. I mean, I'm saying this just from my point of view because
Uh-huh.
obviously this is not something that I'm an expert at. I don't know anything. This is just me, my thoughts, the way
Yeah.
I cope with it, the way I reason with it.
Mhm.
This is me trying to explain what I think about
Yeah.
this. You know,
Yeah.
I may be wrong, maybe right. This is me. But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that what you're saying, a demon, and the Bible says that a demon can disguise themselves as an angel of light, and it can disguise itself maybe if it can as an angel of light, then as anything else also.
Yeah.
So it's like you're saying. So I've heard many stories also of people passed away, and then like days later or time after they'll be like, I saw them, like I saw this person and they were telling me this, and most of the time it's something like closure, like something that they needed to hear, like forgiveness or something,
Mhm.
but they saw the figure. And a lot of research, scientific research will say, well, this is this person's mind
Mhm.
doing this on its own,
To
so
cope.
that they can be released, like to cope with
Yeah.
it. And I guess I don't know. I've never experienced it, but what if it is some kind of demon being disguised, like you said?
Mm.
What if
It's
we
interesting.
Like, what if we like pack our stuff? Everybody just packs their stuff. Not everybody. We
Mhm.
take a couple of people, right? Everybody just packs their stuff, and we just go to the moon because they're probably not over there, right?
Well,
These
that's
demon
what
things aren't over there.
well, that's what you think. Well, in my the way that I believe, and
Is
I'm gonna
that-
take this somewhere else,
Okay.
is that what if you're wrong? What if they do exist throughout the whole universe, bro? And what if these are the aliens?
Jeez, man.
Oh.
Well, they say like the fallen angels were like are the demons like
Yeah, the fallen angels.
Well, they used to
It was
be-
like the devil was cast out of heaven, and he brought a third of the angels with him.
Mhm.
That's what the scripture says.
It's the one that it's the
So that's the army.
And
yeah.
like Hell's Legion or what? That's the army.
I don't,
Or like the
because there's also a part in the Bible,
Uh-huh.
and then this is a little bit confusing, a bit deeper. I remember where it talks about, I think it's in Genesis. It says the sons of God, God, like with the daughters of men. So a lot of people interpret this and say these are angels, like having sex with human women.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there were giants that were born in the land and all this, and
Definitely.
there's a whole thing about this, right?
Demigods, yeah.
So in this part of the Bible, I don't know if when it says that the devil was cast out with a third of the angels, I don't know that if after that, still some of the angels that weren't cast out were doing this with the daughters of men,
Mhm.
and then they were also committing sin and getting
Mhm.
kicked out
Decreasing.
afterward. After those 1 and 1/3, so it might be
Okay.
more than 1/3.
Okay.
This is just
There's a story in aquí in McAllen. I know my dad told me, so it's like that generation knows. And I think the bar was called Ocasios. I don't know if you've heard about this. Un bar in Mission or some shit there. And there was a lot of people in the bar. You might want to ask your parents, and they might have remembered hearing about it. They were in there dancing and stuff, and there was this girl. And I think the story is okay, the mom didn't want to let the girl go because she had a feeling something bad was going to happen. She ends up going anyway.
Mhm.
And she's by herself. And she doesn't have a dance partner. Y en eso entra like this guy. This guy comes in, right? And según like accounts say that he was like a beautiful guy, a handsome guy, right? He comes in and starts dancing with her, right? And there's a lot of people that saw this. And then while they're dancing, right, people started noticing that they weren't on the ground. Okay, they were floating. And she notices it too. And when she notices it, I think she like got pale white, died, and they saw like this thing had like hooves for feet. And everybody just rushed out and they saw the auto, and I think the place burned down as just while all that happened. There was this happened in Mexicana, I think in the 80s or
It happened
70s,
there?
yeah.
I have heard this story before. I don't know the details about where it was or anything like that, but it's very similar. I think there's details that have changed. I didn't know this was a true story. I thought it was just like folklore, or what do you call it?
Like a legend.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. No, it was a bar in Ocasios, and
But I have heard this story.
It's a real thing apparently. I mean, I'm one of those who, I mean, I say like I don't want to see it, but once I see it, I mean, I don't think you queda bien, bro. Just seeing something like that, nah, man, no way. I don't know.
I think that it used to be that back then. I remember when I was a kid, there was a lot more stories about this, and now you just don't hear them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the same thing?
It was like the stories that must not die, you know, something like that. It was like all the Mexican, like La Llorona was on there.
Yeah, La Llorona was there.
The Devil's Lagoon
But you would just hear random people, like, if you got together with someone at night, and it'll just be like a natural, like a normal topic, like, oh, this happened to me the other time, and I saw this, and I saw that, and I... But now you don't hear that anymore.
Maybe it was the change of the generations. You know,
maybe
we lost contact with each other.
Maybe that generation was. I mean, it's the 80s, bro. I mean, if I look back, well, the 70s, somewhere there, heroin was a thing, cocaine was a thing.
Probably the drugs.
They saw something, right?
Everybody was having the same.
So that's the way I try to rationalize the thing, right?
There might be some truth to that.
There was too many people. Like, kind of like the witch trials in Salem, right? Like, you've heard of those.
Yeah.
That was a real thing in history in Massachusetts, right? And they were accusing people of witchcraft, and they were hanging them just on hearsay nomás.
Oh, okay.
But you look back, and these people had bread on the table. They would just leave así el pan afuera. And it start getting moldy and start getting fungus. And fungus is a psychedelic. And they eat the bread that's there, and they're eating it, and they get high, and they don't know it. And they start seeing, like, Joan, right? And he's, like, doing some kind of thing with his hand. And there's colors coming out because you're high and you're on a psychedelic trip. He's got to be a witch, right? And then you go and you hang people, and that's what they were doing, right? That's me coping with it.
Actually, it would be a warlock.
Yeah, he'd be a warlock. Yeah, he'd be a warlock. But I don't know, man. I mean, I'm actually scared to edit this thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, because there's a lot of pauses, a lot of silence, and I don't want to hear when I'm editing this thing, right? I don't want to hear something like in the background, you know, because I'm scared to edit this thing, bro. I'm scared to edit it, man. So I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm scared.
That's just nomás así, bro. Raw.
Yeah, pero I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what all this stuff is, and I think that Hollywood has a big role here with this stuff. I think if you were just to leave it, just, you know,
to the books,
naked, and just none of this stuff, you just leave the Bible just the way it is. You don't have an idea of what a demon is or casting out what is, right? I think that our minds wouldn't be equipped to put an illusion or an illustration to these kind of things and what can happen to people. I think Hollywood has a role with the brainwashing and that stuff. I think that if that wasn't there, like if we were to go to, there's like an island in the world, I don't know if you know, okay, we can't land there, nobody can. They have these people secluded. They're still living in like sticks and stones era.
Yeah, really?
You can't land. It's illegal to land there. They see planes, right, and whatever they think it is, that's what they think it is.
Yeah.
Or también. I mean, they have no concept of technology now.
Are they like studying them, or just because they want to preserve?
Well, I guess it's. I think I read some. Okay, like they tried to make contact, but every time they're hostile.
They're hostile.
And I think some people might have gotten injured, maybe got killed by them, because, you know, it's their island.
Yeah.
To them, we're outsiders intruding on their land. They're trying to defend
aliens
it.
Some. It's right here. It's in the Indian Ocean. The Sentinelese.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find pictures.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah. Aquí están.
Oh, okay.
They have no concept of what a cell phone is. Nothing. So if you go to these people and you tell them, like, what is a demon? Well, they have no concept of this, man.
Well, maybe they do.
They're completely...
Yeah, like...
Well, maybe they have an idea
What?
of, like, right and wrong, yeah, see? But to draw, like, an actual drawing,
Okay.
like Hollywood style.
Oh.
Okay. And my question to you is that, like, what if like Hollywood stops interpreting or never interpreted like demons and stuff, like scary movies, whatever,
Mhm.
and then we only had the Bible and stuff, but people were still seeing what they were seeing or interpreting what they were seeing.
When they were high.
No, like
This-
like you saying that when we see something that's unrational, we automatically go to demons or ghosts because of what we see in Hollywood and stuff.
Yeah.
But what if we take away the Hollywood and stuff? That never happened. Hollywood never existed, whatever. But we still are seeing the things that people supposedly see or interpreted.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, what will we pin it on? Or is it just going to be something real or something in our minds that's wrong with us?
Well, let me tell you something, bro. I was watching one documentary the other day, and you know how everybody thinks that the devil is red,
Okay.
right? Because that's how Hollywood depicts it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. La lotería también.
But they were saying that they barely started drawing this guy red. I don't know when, 19th century. I don't know when.
Okay.
But before that, he was blue.
Okay.
It was kind of the same as now, but blue.
Okay.
And that was a norm. That was the norm back then. It was blue devil,
Yeah.
which I guess makes sense. I don't know. The colors had something to do. I don't know why. I forgot. But they changed the color.
Mm-hmm.
But then before it was blue, it was some other color, maybe like black or something. I guess that would make more sense. But what I'm trying to get to is whatever it is, whether it's real or not, or if it's a being that doesn't have a shape or a color, maybe that we don't, because this thing doesn't live in the natural world like we do.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to give them
Power.
characteristics,
Okay.
like, and to us maybe it's a cartoon character, and that's a devil, you know, or that's a demon, because that's how they've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
What are these things that are they don't have a shape or a color, you know? That's just our way of expressing to you
How to depict
yeah
or how to categorize
I got the name wrong, man. It was Boccaccio's, and I got the year wrong too.
Mhm.
This was in 2000.
Oh, this is the story that we were saying.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Boccaccios, I was saying Ocasio. No. It was at Boccaccio. Oh, it was called Boccaccio's 2000. Okay. So here it is, known by the locals as Boccaccios, pronounced Boccaccios. This is a story in 1979. Young woman, 18 or 19, not to go to the club. She went anyway, met with normal crowd, like you expect at a nightclub. Found herself by the bar. Handsome stranger approached. The young rebellious woman went. Stranger approached, rebellious.
Had talons of feet and
The
those
smell of
rumors
sulfur.
of the-
Yeah. He swept her off her feet as they danced.
Isn't that what they say, like demons and stuff, like if they coming from hell or whatever, that they smell of sulfur or like rotten eggs or something like that?
Oh,
I've heard that too, yeah.
Isn't that like a characteristic
Of
of
what-
the demons and stuff?
Mhm.
This is the devil dancing in a nightclub. It's an original concept. Stories that must not die. It's a folklore. But yeah, apparently this happened. I don't know, bro. How come Jesus never comes, bro? How come we never have that? Well, how
Well-
come nobody ever reports that?
But what I was
Why do we, like, if somebody came, right, and they said, well, I saw Jesus, we would put him in a mental, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we want to listen to this guy, put him in a mental.
Well,
but when
that's-
it comes to this, it's like, oh, let's write a movie about this. What is that?
That's what I was gonna get to. That what this tells me is that there's so much that we don't know that we need to either study, like I don't know if professionally or what, but there's such a distance from, like, if science tries to study it is a problem with the mind. Someone's mind has an issue,
Yeah.
right? But because if you always see it that way, you're always gonna discard it. I guess it doesn't exist. But if you always see it that way, we're always gonna have the question like, well, what if it is real? And then you're saying that it's
I mean, I don't know, bro, because like I've seen that Ghost Adventures thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen it, but it's like they'll show like they have like cameras everywhere, and they go into like this haunted door, something bad happened, like people died or whatever, and then they have cameras and they're always in the dark. I don't know why it has to be dark always. Mm-hmm. They turn off all the lights and they're there with their night vision stuff, and then it's like you're like, and they panic, and they're like, what's that? And then they go back, replay, and it's just like rewind, right? Otra vez. And it's just like como maybe it's the water line. Or maybe maybe a rock was in the roof or something.
Some other explanation.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard about the wisdom of the crowd?
No.
Like if there's 1,000 people, and there's a problem or a question, maybe not everybody knows, but collectively they'll come up with the right answer the majority of the time. Mm-hmm. Like whatever random question you're asking, like you can hand them a jar. This is like a documentary also that I saw. You can hand them like a jar full of bubble gum, and if you pass it around and you take the average answer and you average it out, it comes really close or is exact to what the amount of gumballs is in there. Mm-hmm. So they call it the wisdom of the crowd. Like what the majority of the people think it is, it's usually right. It's usually true. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when in this, like. And believing in ghosts and demons and all that, I think the majority of people believe that it exists, right? So you can't discard it and say it's not real. It's just like science will just say it's a mental issue, you know? Mm-hmm. So with that, we already have enough to say this thing is worth looking deeper into it. And the thing is, like you said, maybe like when we were kids, we had better connection in our brain, but we don't have any connection now. And the thing that I'm going to say is, because you started mentioning how come God doesn't appear or whatever. Mm-hmm. Maybe he does. But in the Bible, God says that we or people are spiritually blind. Mm-hmm. And that they need to have their spiritual eyes open so that they can see the spiritual, like what Jesus wants us to see. Yeah. So it's obvious to me that if all this stuff is real and all that, we don't have enough knowledge about it, and we haven't studied it, we haven't put enough effort into studying and knowing it and experiencing it, like maybe going into a place where you know that there is someone known as being possessed and actually experiencing and going through. Maybe we have a better explanation of this, but we don't, the common person doesn't know enough about this. That's why it's so, what do you call it? Like bleak to us, like we don't know.
What if like we heard a voice and then it's like do this, right? And then you say like, oh, that's the voice of God, right? Mm-hmm. How do you know?
How do you know it's God or something else?
How do you know you ain't being that's like some trap or something? How do you know, bro? That's crazy, bro. Like Moses, how did he know, bro?
But there's warning about that in the Bible too. Like not just because someone comes and tells you this,
how do you know?
You should believe it. You have to test. The Bible says test the spirits, right? Yeah. How do we do that? I don't know. Well, there is one way that I know, and there's what the Bible says is any spirit that confesses that Jesus is Christ the Lord and he died and he raised on the third day must come from God. And anyone who denies that then is as the spirit of the Antichrist. So it's like part of that team.
So you would have to ask that question.
I don't know.
Do you ask it like
who's your Lord? Maybe. I don't know. This is what I got from reading this, right? But I guess that's the closest I can get to answer that question. Like, how do you know? Yeah. Because I've heard also people see visions of angels appearing to them and then giving them directions. And we've seen the whole religion of the, Jehovah's Witnesses or the Mormons are based on a guy had an encounter with an angel. Supposedly it was the Archangel Gabriel or someone. And he gave him all this information, and that's how they started this new religion. Well, we have a warning in the Bible that says, even though an angel from heaven comes and preaches to you a different gospel, let them be, I don't know what the word in English is, but anathema. It's kind of like let them be cursed or something. So there is warning you and telling you, you might get to experience that you see an angel and coming to you and saying that they're from heaven, but they're giving you something different than what the truth is. So it's, for me, when I look at these religions that have started with this, with an angel talking to them, I think go back also to the Muslim religion, and they started with the Prophet Muhammad having a similar vision of an angel, giving them a different, I don't know if it's a different of different gospel. So for me, that's a warning sign because of reading the Bible and seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
But even regular people, you will encounter a lot of people, like if you're involved in like in a religion like Christianity or Catholic or whatever, you'll eventually come up with people who will tell you, I saw this, I saw an angel, or I saw this, and you don't know, because they can the demons, they can disguise themselves as angels of light, so you can be misguided. And it's like Danny says, how do you know that you're getting the right information? So you have to be very, very careful, I guess very, very close to God for you to have that to be able to distinguish. And I'm going to tell you this, my dad, and a lot of people might think he's crazy and all this, but he has often experiences where he sees things. And he'll tell us. And he, like, I don't know if you guys believe me. I know my dad, and he has no reason, right, to lie. So I believe him 100%. And these things is just like personal messages that he gets, like that he needs. It's not like something he's gonna see something and, oh, we need to do this because I saw this and this is gonna happen. It's never like that. It's never like getting you committed to do something because of what he saw. It's always like he's telling you, like, oh, I saw this, I think it means this for my own, this is what I believe, this is what I saw. He sees a lot of things, bro. So I do have people that are close to me that see these kinds of things. And that's why I believe that they happen. Personally, I've never seen anything like that happened to me.
I mean, but I God talks in very mysterious ways, but like God works in mysterious ways. Like there's like there was a moment in my life where I started asking questions and had like doubts, and I turned on the radio and más tocaba que like it's like whatever the song was saying, and I was just like taking it like word for word, and I'm just like, my God, you're trying to tell me something here. And when you get to that point, it's very scary and very overwhelming. And I would just shut it off, and I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to hear this, okay? So I'm driving down the road, right? And I come across a billboard. And you know how, like, some of them have, like, como positive messages? And I see one, and I'm just like, como, I get it. I'm just like, I understand, right? To an outsider, that's a ta loco, right? But for me, it's like, oh, this is for me. Like, this is like me connecting the dots, right? This is just for me. I've imagined a scene, bro, where this is like in my own mind an illustration of everybody walking towards Jerusalem Sea. Like I have it like here on the thing. I've imagined this scene before, and a bunch of people walking towards this light, right? And when I've seen this scene come out in dreams, for me, I am one of those who's like kind of in the back, waiting to see what's gonna happen before I start moving, right? And I never move. I'm always just there. I don't get to see anybody besides that. I just see people walking towards it. But now that I question it, right, what does it mean? I'm saying if the majority of the people are going there, and I know that the way is narrow, right? There's like a Bible verse that says the way is narrow. It's not that many take this path. I'm like, I have to be one of the ones who doubts the initial. Is that a good place to be, man? Like, once people start, because I've had dreams where like people are excited and they're like, hey, ya está aquí,
Oh, okay.
It's here. Let's all go, right?
I see
what are you
saying.
waiting for? And everybody's just going, right? And I'm just like, hold on. Let's go. Come on. We're all here as a family. And it sucks, bro.
That's interesting.
It sucks because I've seen it in dreams come up. Y yo me quedo atrás and I'm just like, I'm going to doubt this.
In the Bible, it says, like, I think it's Revelation or something. It's like, in those days, don't be like you said, don't be too quick or don't be misguided, because in those days there will be a lot of people coming in the name of Jesus, like they are Jesus, and there'll be a lot of people that'll be taken astray and confused. It's kind of like what you're saying.
And I'm always just doubting, pero digo yo, I don't know what that means. I always wake up because I'm just standing there. I never get to see what happens after. Pero digo yo, how far am I going to just doubt? And what if I miss my bus? You know what I mean? What if I'm just there waiting forever? Nah, not yet. It's just one after another, and people are going. and people are going again, and they're finding, and they're just like, it's got to be this one now, right? I don't know what happens after.
Yeah.
Right. But
This is a dream.
Yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream, and I never see what happens after. But they go, how far am I going to be the last one there? You know,
Yeah.
and there's not going to be another bus for me. You know.
Yeah.
So how do we know?
That's
You
a
know?
weird dream, bro.
How do we know, man? It's crazy.
It's a mystery, bro. Something that I've learned from reading the Bible is that anybody can just read the Bible, and like a very educated person can just read it and take it. Don't take much from it, right? Just like a history book.
Yeah.
But the way I learned from the Bible is that you have to pray to God for Him to interpret to you what it means, like by the Holy Spirit of God.
Yeah.
This is something deeper. This is something you're not just gonna read it, but you're gonna have guidance from God Himself.
Yeah.
So I can say that I have been able to interpret things far beyond what I could have ever imagined or whatever anybody else could have taught me by doing this, by reading, praying first to God, humbling myself and saying, I really don't understand what I'm reading, but I want to see what you want me to see, you know? And then I've been able to see like deeper things like that, and I believe is the guidance of God. I believe that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it or how to make you believe it, but I believe it.
Yeah.
And it takes that, bro. It takes like the interpretation of it spiritually.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like one of the visions I saw, okay, was like part of the mission that I was supposed to do. But based on this is just me. You might think I'm crazy, right? But one of the things was warning about this,
Okay.
not to fall for it, and to tell a lot of people now, going back to the same thing. If I know that the majority of people are supposed, because that's how it's written, the majority of people are supposed to fall, and I warn everybody, right? Ain't I leading everybody to the slaughter, right? And so then what am I? Do I, right? And this was when I was having visions, I see, when I was locked up, and I kept asking the question. I said, if I do this, and I warn everybody, right? And everybody falls for what I'm saying, right? Not to fall for the initial stuff, to doubt and just stay there. And I know that the path is narrow, and now this is where everybody's going, and then my path, right? If assuming everything is lined up, my path is one of hell, and everybody else is saved except for me. So yo dije, when I was going through this, and this is where I was crying a lot because I didn't want to say anything. And I haven't told anybody this. This is the first time for me. I said I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I ain't going to say anything. And I just grabbed a bunch of nails, and I remember in the vision, I pulled my tongue out, and I'm just like, I'm not going to speak about this again, ever. I'm telling you guys that, but I'm not gonna make it I'm just a guy. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know what it was, but this dream, and this is even before that, I was having this scenario where it's a bunch of people I see like in a city, you know, like a city traffic just going into one direction, and it's just like everybody's just falling in, and I don't know what it is, man.
My advice.
It's very scary, bro. I don't know. You don't say it, bro. I know my path is one where everybody's going. I have to go the opposite direction. Yeah. That's how it is for me.
My advice, right, and my reasoning with this is search for, ¿cómo dice? Search for the truth, and the truth will set you free. Yeah. Jesus Christ is the truth. Truth is one of His names. So I think if you deeply, really, deep down, you desire, honestly and humbly, to know the truth, you will look for it. You will look for it, and you will find it. So I think that when you find it, you won't be afraid of falling for things like this. You know. Yeah. You'll probably have doubts, but you'll be at peace at knowing. I know that God has my back. Like whatever happens, through coincidence or because I'll know for sure, I'll make the right decision. That's what I believe. That's what brings peace to me. But I do believe that, because I felt the same way, like being confused at times, being scared, not knowing. Maybe I'm making the wrong decisions, or maybe I'll, like you said, like maybe I'll lead people astray because of what I say, and I'm doubting. And it's a hard responsibility to have on your shoulders when you make decisions like that. But what I found is that because I found myself face to face with God and saying, you know, I don't know, but I want to know. So I'm going to humble myself, and I'm going to be honest and say, that I don't know this,
Yeah.
and that the certain part. Let's say certain part of the Bible. Let's say a lot of people are afraid to say that they doubt because it's like a sin against God if you doubt something.
Yeah.
But I had to get this out of me, because if not, I was always going to believe something that I wasn't sure, you know.
Okay.
So I had to face that in prayer with God or whatever and say, I doubt this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I want to know if it's real or not. So through me opening up like that and then finding out for myself through more scripture and through life experience,
Yeah.
I believe that's the only way to find the truth, like your truth.
Yeah.
Like you because you could be a Christian and actually doubt even the existence of God himself. How could you be Christian if you're doubting that God even exists, right? But this is possible. Like, I wouldn't say that it happened to me. Not that I doubted the existence of God himself, but I doubted many things about God. Like, does God really want this? Or does really God want that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, for me, my part of my life right now, there used to be a time, okay, I would get up in the morning, I would pray. At night, I would pray. Now, and me being honest with you, and you here also, right, Joan? Now, it's only when I'm in need, no mas. And that's how I used to be.
Yeah.
And before that, I wouldn't even look for it. When I was in like an emergency situation or somewhere where I needed to be, but other than that, to this day, right now, today, nah, man, I'm not acuerdo. I don't know what that is, bro. I don't know what happened. Okay, I need to switch some stuff around for sure. But I love having these talks. I learn a lot from you and from Joan. I mean, I learn a lot talking about stuff, this kind of stuff with people. And I know that I'm in the wrong. Okay, just looking whenever I'm in need and not thanking for the stuff I have. And I'm grateful, right? I do say, like, I have stuff here. But right now, my life, the way it's going, spiritually, it's a mess. It's a wreck. I need to come back to... I need prayer. I need to confess. I've talked with my dad. He tells me, like, you gotta straighten out y todo. And I know that's what I gotta do, but it's a scary place to be. And this is why what happened last night would happen to me. Because of the same thing, because I'm not armed like I used to be.
Yeah.
I'm not that strong in the word anymore. I know the truth, but it's not as strong as before. Okay, it was like I had no fear. Last night was a very, very scary thing for me, man. Very scary thing.
I imagine.
And what was I gonna say? One of the things that that gets me with all this is consider a fishing hook, man. A lure. What does a lure do? You're trying to grab a fish, right? Kill it, right?
Yeah.
That's what you do. And only certain dumb fish are going to fall for the trap, which is this light thing that you're saying, this false light, that everyone's going to fall, and this thing that I've seen, people going towards this light también. Jesus le dice a Peter, I'm going to make you a fisher of man, bro. It's kind of the same thing here. We're a gullible breed. I know, yo soy un menso, bro. I'll admit it. If I was to see the first light, probably more than likely for me, I'd be like, this is it. This has got to be it, right? I'm going to take the bus here. I'm going to go. And I'd fall into the trap, right? Because I'm weak. And that's the question is, how do you get strong? You're a dumb fish in the sea. You see this nice lure, but I don't know what fish think, right? But I'm as dumb as this fish here. And I see this bright lure, right? And everybody else has been warned and everybody knows not to get, come on, SpongeBob, remember that episode, right? Don't get on the hooks, y todo. And I see this hook and I'm going to be like, let's take it, let's go, right? It's nice, it's pretty, let's go.
But
that's going to be me, man.
Let me tell you something, bro.
I
heard a preaching once and it really touched me, and like it's been with me for years. I felt insulted at first by it, but Jesus calls us as sheep, right? This preacher was saying, sheep are very dumb. Like, they're one of the dumbest animals. That's what they were saying, right? I don't study how the animals, how smart they are or not. But I believe what they were saying, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly they researched. So they're very dumb and stubborn. So it requires a lot, like, of the pastor to, like, get them to feed them and everything, like give everything to them, and then sometimes they'll go straight off and stuff. Like the pastor has to be very, very careful with them. But what I got from this is, like, we are, like, at the first I thought it was like an insult to us, like, oh, you're calling us
sheep,
like we're dumb, right?
Yeah.
But then I kind of like, I was humbled by it, I guess, and I started believing, well, we are dumb,
Yeah.
and it's only that you can accept, or you can become smarter when you accept that,
That you're dumb.
right? That you're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You can only become smarter by accepting that, because if
Yeah.
you are dumb and you believe you know everything,
Yeah.
then you've limited yourself to
Then
a
you
very
are
low
dumb.
standard. But God says that He gives His wisdom to those that are simple. Like He makes the dumb man have like the deep wisdoms of His
Understanding.
knowledge. Yeah,
Mhm.
and all those smart people of the world,
Mhm.
they're kept from it.
Yeah.
Because it's His way of saying, these are my people. This is what the gift that I'm going to give them. When everybody else thinks that they are dumb, they actually have it all.
Mhm.
So like what you're saying, maybe I'm dumb and falling for this. Well, maybe, but it's the foolishness of simple things. Like how can someone give you a gift that's so valuable as eternal life, as well-being, as health and everything,
Yeah.
by only the simple thing? Some people call it foolish of just believing something,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? It's a simple thing,
Mhm.
but that's how simple God makes it,
Yeah.
right? So I remember this because of what you're saying. Like, it's hard sometimes to believe whether, well, am I making the right decision or am I being dumb?
Yeah.
It says that's what the Bible says about that, and it
Yeah.
says that en español dice que el evangelio de Dios es que es, I don't know, he's trying to say like the gospel of God is like craziness, but that's the power of Him to be saved. That it's crazy
Mhm.
for normal people to understand
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay, like kind of like it's crazy to believe that you're gonna be saved or
Mhm.
by God.
But
By
that's His
by the so
salvation.
simple
Yeah.
thing as believing,
Yeah.
and that the people who overthink it and be like, that's not true. Those
Yeah.
are the ones who are actually dumb in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, this is the way that
that
the interpretation
yeah.
goes. Yeah, because like you said, like they might be overthinking it because they are smart
Yeah,
and they're overthinking something that's not maybe meant to be.
understood.
Yeah.
Like yo como ahorita, like I know that there's a song like says like you leave the 99, right? What is it? The over. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's just like leaves the 99. I'm at a place right now. I'm at a place where like I've gone astray. Not that I'm doing anything bad, but I haven't devoted the time, right? And I think that is important for me. I think that devoting time and giving time to thank y todo and be grateful and stuff and pray. I think it's important for me.
Yeah.
It's important for me, and so this is where the guilt comes in for
Yeah.
me.
Uh-huh.
Why I feel guilty. And so me, I'm one of those, like, if you were considering like sheep in a flock y todo, my only hope is that the shepherd goes and wherever it is I'm at, wherever it is I'm lost, right, will go get me and bring me back to where I'm supposed to be,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And
Definitely,
it's,
man.
Only time.
That's what
is-
God does.
Only time.
And,
is gonna tell.
To not kind of leave you out there in an island, bro. You chose right to come on and say that on your own, but a lot of people, I guess, go through it too. And me myself, I'm also not like in the best place where I would say I'm constantly praying or reading or whatever, because I'm not. And I've been in situations where my biblical reading is high, and then time of prayer is high as well, higher than it is now. I want to say because I don't do it every day, and I could be better, like you're saying. But I do believe that the decision that I made a long time ago is so deep, like instilled within me, that nothing that happens in this world will ever change that. But yeah, I mean, there's times that we go like up and down, and then sometimes we forget about things because our daily lives, like we fall into a routine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would encourage to it's really nice, bro, to be that close, right, devoted, like you said, and it's something that I need as well. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm like every day.
Yeah, I'm
doing
just
this.
being honest, bro. I'm just
Yeah.
being honest. Like, como it's only when I'm in need, bro.
Yeah.
That's the only time that I'll look for him now. And it'll be like in a moment of crisis or panic where I'll be like, oh, please, you know. And then I'll start making the dumb deals like I used to before. Oh, I'll do this. I'll quit smoking. I'll start working out. And it's just like, oh, I'm falling into this. Kind of like the song we heard earlier, bro. It's like the same thing, you know. You keep saying the same lies to yourself. And for me, it's always like I'm always like in the same cycle. Like in my house while I'm here. Every day after day after day. And I'm just like, de nada te sirve. I've told myself this on my own here. De nada me sirve to just keep saying I'm going to do this and I don't do it. I just need to do it, right? And I don't know why, bro. It's so hard. It's easy. It's an easy thing, man.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to just give some time, start doing the right stuff, the things that need to get done. But I don't do them. I don't know why. And I need help by in that. I got to find an answer. I got to... There's something I don't know what it is that's anchoring me. I can't pin it to what it is. It's not depression. It's not anything like that. I don't know.
I think this is when it's important, bro, to attend like a group, like say church is a group, right? And it'll like maybe help you get more motivated and inspired, because I can compare this to working out. Like I need to work out. At least 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day. It's nothing, bro, out of the day.
No,
15 minutes.
To start,
at least every other day. It's nothing, bro, but I don't do it.
Yeah.
But if I was like attending a gym or something, then I would feel like commitment, right?
Yeah.
I guess this is why it is important. Like everything that the Bible says has a meaning, and it's not just for like when we were talking about the other day, that it says that we were saying like, oh, pues I don't think that people need to go to church to be saved or whatever. Pues maybe not, but it's a great help. Like it's there for a reason.
Oh yeah,
right?
I need Joel Osteen. I used to watch him every Sundays, but haven't even put in. And now me cuesta just sit down 11. I don't have to go anywhere. Just put the thing, hear the message, get the positivity. Ni eso puedo hacer, bro.
Don't make time.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if I said that today. Yo me la paso dormido, bro. Aquí. I come back from work, knockout. Wake up at 8, start getting ready for the next day, go back to sleep. Next day también, repeat. Saturday comes along, Saturday all day sleep. Sunday comes along, también. Do laundry, I do that, get ready for the week, repeat, knockout. And that's how it's been. That's how it's been for me.
Yeah, it's a routine.
And it sucks, bro. It sucks. Going back to let's make this positive now, man. So we were going kind of negative, talking about demons and stuff. So we're a couple of weeks away from Jesus' birth.
Yeah.
On the 25th, and pues that's an incredible thing.
And my birth.
Oh yeah.
24th.
También.
24th.
Nice.
December 24th, your birthday?
Yeah.
That's my mom's birthday.
Sí.
Nice.
Vamos a top golf.
Top golf ese día.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's good. It's positive stuff. I made my decision when I decided to get baptized. Y me dijo uno de los pastors ahí, he's like, this is the point of no return. He's like, there's no going back. You are going in the right direction. He's like, this is your stepping stone foundation. Yeah, you already accepted, and now you're getting baptized today. And that's what they told us there. And I was just like, well, this guy is right.
Yeah.
This is it. This is already like, this is my foundation. This is what I know now. So I took that leap of faith. I did that, and so that's how it turned out for me. But even then, there's still some questions,
Yeah.
And there's like some doubting. Yeah, it's just like, why this and why that? And I know it's not my place, and I've read Job, and it's not my place to question things. We don't understand why things play out the way they do, but like I said, my only hope is that, because I see like that analogy of the sheep, and my only hope is that however far I am, I hope that I get found and I'm brought back to wherever it is, and that's my only hope. So
you mentioned that we're getting close to Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think it's amazing how we're celebrating Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how the world tries to twist it and make it about something else, right? Because a lot of people celebrate Christmas and they love it and everything without Jesus.
Yeah.
They celebrate Santa Claus and the Christmas tree and all this, which is nice and it's fun and all that. But even though they try to take, the reason for the season out of it, it's still such like
Positivity.
Yeah, like so much joy and hope that the season brings that people just are celebrating. They can't get to Christmas once like it starts October and stuff.
Yeah.
Even before
Christmas
Halloween, like
lights.
people already feel like they want to get to
The
Christmas. They celebrate this holiday for months. Even after it's Christmas, even after the New Year's, it's still some people haven't taken down their lights or their Christmas trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It lasts a long time, and it's kind of bad that people kind of forget that it's about Jesus Christ. You know, that we make it about something else. But even the gifts, bro, what they represent is like the gift of something that you don't deserve. Like as a kid, the story of Santa Claus, right? You'll get a gift if you behave. If you don't, you'll get coal or whatever.
Yeah.
But what do we do?
You get the fire.
But what do we do with
Fire
our
and brimstone.
what do we do with our children? Every child in the world, at least, well, not everyone, but at least those who can, their parents are gonna buy their kids a gift, no matter how bad that child was, how horrible they were.
That's good. That's good.
So that in itself is the gift of Jesus Christ that He gives to us, right? He gives a selfless gift that you don't deserve.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the story of Jesus Christ is being told, whether people keep trying to take Him out of it and twist it, it's there. And the joy and it overwhelms. I mean, Christmas songs playing in the radio and everywhere. It's very early, bro, in the year.
Yeah.
Months. And I love it. I like it. But I just want to bring that out and see what you guys thought about that.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. It's pretty deep. And I, while you were saying this, I saw this across Instagram post. This is the season half, cool, and then this is the reason, the crowns. Yeah. And I've my dad met. Yeah, ves que Mauito, he watches the podcast, and he knows that I bring him up every now and then. One of the things he's told me is que, and it's pretty disturbing and pretty sad to hear, is he tells me que he's going to hell. That's what he tells me. He's going straight to hell. And I tell him, whatever reason that you think that you do, because I deserve hell too, right? But the thing is that though we deserve that, there's somebody who took our place, and that's what's mind-boggling, bro. Like, we deserve that, but somebody said no, let me go for you. Yeah. And that's crazy, man. No, none of us here would possess that kind of martyr, to be that kind of person. Pero Jesus did for all of us. Even people who haven't been born yet, bro. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's in I tell him that and to try and because that's how I think it is, you know, and that's what I know, and I don't know everything. I don't know a lot of stuff. He tells me like you haven't been around, and that's true. But from my reading and from what I gather is que I also deserve the fire, that's where I'm supposed to go. Mm-hmm. Pero for reasons unknown, I don't know if it's because God loves us that much, that He wants all of us to be with Him at the end. He offered His Son to take all of our place. Mm-hmm. And one of the verses that confirmed that, I had read, because I don't like reading Revelations. It's scary for me. But there was like, I think it was the second time I was just skimming through it, and there's a section que dice ahí, those who go to the lake of fire and brimstone burn forever in the presence of the Lamb. And so yo me agüité. When I read it, I was just like, so does that mean that Jesus is just there in the fires also, and not with the rest of us? Mm-hmm. That's what I gathered. I don't know what you know what verse I'm talking about.
I'm not too sure, bro. We need to read it, but the way that you're saying is, pues, the way that I would explain it now is that He's present everywhere. He's omnipresent, so He has to be at all places at once.
Where is it? Angels, they too would drink power, tormented with burning sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb. Mm-hmm. So, when I read this, is he condemned there forever, or is it like you're saying He's in all places also?
I think that that's more what it means. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way that He cannot be there.
Mm-hmm. A lamb, if you consider a lamb, it's una inocencia, bro. It's an innocent thing. An innocent thing is there.
Yeah.
Not burning, but in the presence of.
Presence.
It's like a guard there. Like it's just watching all this happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you consider that like como exposing like a child to like something horrible that you shouldn't see.
Yeah.
That's what comes to mind here.
Yeah.
It's bizarre the wording aquí and when I read it yo me agüité and then that's what I gathered, but yeah, I hope it's like you say he's all in all places and not just bound to watching this is this when I read it yo me agüité when the first time I came across this because I just read it as just the way it was. Dije yo, he's gonna be locked up in there right forever. I don't know. Revelations. I don't like reading that book, man. No, I don't. Nope. It's the last book in the Bible. It's the one about how things come to an end. And there's a lot of weird stuff in the last book of the New Testament. I want to say I've only read it like word for word twice. Other than that, it's just skimming through it. Like I'll open a page and I'll just be like, oh, there's someone here, right?
I read it a few times also, but it's also pretty hard to
understand. Interpret.
Interpret it. Yeah.
It's weird. It's a.
If you take it literal, it's weird,
yeah.
and then if you try to interpret it a different way, like it's just hard because it's like the locusts and all this and all that.
Yeah, they have like a scorpion's tail and you're stinging and they're stinging you and
there's different kind of animals with different kinds of faces and different kinds of.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a hard book to interpret.
Bueno, pues I guess we've spent an entire time in that topic. So we'll leave the Jeffrey Epstein for next time. This was a pretty interesting talk, bro. Again, if anybody needed to hear any of the messages we said or that we talked about here, I hope that you take it to heart, ito. And like I said, it's the season's coming up, and let's end this positive, right? Jesus' birth, ito, and this is a good time to be with family and reconcile everybody. Forgiveness, and everybody should just forget. And it's hard, it sucks, right? When you hold on to stuff in the past, but you gotta let it go, man. You know, an uncle of mine passed away this past Sunday, and it's like another just we're not here forever, you know, and we can make the peace now and just let the pride go and just quit it, and you know, everybody did the things that you're doing wrong, you know, it's the time to fix it. And hopefully New Year's resolution for a lot of us out there is to work on ourselves first, and once we get ourselves down, then we can go about helping other people and sharing the good word and all of this stuff. Pero it's the working on ourselves part first where we would have to start there. Yeah. So we'll leave it there and stay tuned for another episode. So we'll see you all.
Yes, sir.
Take it easy.